And now, diffusion and cell transport. For the structure of the membrane, there are lipids, which form boundaries and are hydrophobic, cholesterol, which support the membranes and help fluidity, meaning the membrane can move. There are carbohydrate chains, which help molecules stick to the membrane, and there are protein channels, which help with passive transport across the membrane. Forces that are present in the membrane are the van der Waals forces and the bilayer, and there are also hydrogen bonding and ionic bonding between hydrophilic groups in phosphate and the aqueous solution. There are also hydrophobic forces that can cause the bilayer to form weak intermolecular forces. For the concept of diffusion, there is random movement and net movement. Random movement is particles randomly moving, while net movement is the particles moving from high concentration to low concentration. In random movement, no energy is required, while in net movement, during passive transport, no energy is required, while during active transport, ATP is required, thus meaning that energy is required. In active transport. This means that passive transport is with the gradient, while active transport is against the gradient. 3 examples of this in real life is perfume diffusing into air, tea diffusing into water, and food coloring also diffusing into water. Selective permeability allows certain molecules or ions to pass through by active or passive transport. In selective permeability, there is ions, nonpolar molecules, and polar molecules. Small polar and nonpolar molecules can go through the membrane, while larger ones need the protein channels for transport. Ions themselves need channels because of their large size. In terms of the size of the molecule, the smaller the molecule is, the faster it goes. When ions and larger nonpolar and polar molecules are going through the protein chain, they use facilitated diffusion. This is when they go through the protein channel via passive or active transport. When using active transport, ATP is required to go with its phosphate group to the protein channel to allow the molecule to go against the gradient.